Hello there, beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to my video update. In this video about living in the new, which is an episode that I didn't do for quite a long time, but I do represent and I show many aspects of how to live in the new in many of my videos in between the lines, of course, and how I simply live my life. And in this episode, I want to talk about a touchy subject for so many, which in fact we really need to bring more enlightenment into in terms of understanding it in a very grounded, earthly matter. So our self-mastery and our physicality, how to self-sustain, how to work with money, how to live in abundance and support ourselves while also nurturing the higher aspects of our soul evolution. Many times I notice on my journey that we as a society, and I'm going to talk about it very much in a generalized way here, and I don't want to really bring a focus to a specific group, just in a generalized observations in regards to the community of humanity. As I noticed that where we invest our energy, and energy is money as well, a lot of times it's for things that we feel that will bring us something physical. Like we go to a hairdresser and I don't know, we take these services that are more physical in nature, and we shop for groceries and all the things that we do, they're physical. But not always we will invest in something that's really deep and profound for our soul transformation and expansion, because we are evolving, and this is something that needs to have more energy input. Because I see that sometimes, if a certain human, thinks that something will bring them healing on the outside, or, you might get something from someone that you feel will give you something like an answer or confirmation or something very physical or practical. But we don't always want to invest in something that's more not really seen. Working with higher levels of awareness is not always seen. It's not physical, it's an intangible energy that we're working with. And a lot of those of us who work with these master energies and to really cultivate this new energy here on the planet, sometimes people don't really realize that that's work as well. And as a humanity, we really need to start embracing these aspects of the self too. Because just recently we were reading from Saint Germain again. He has a new book on enlightenment. And he shared on this aspect of light movers, of light workers, and, beings who are here to bring balance within themselves, to bring their own enlightenment and give it as a gift to the planet, to offer wisdom and awareness. And many times there's still these old remnants in humanity, in our society, that say, spirituality is not related to money at all, and there's this dualistic separation here. And many times when people say, wow, this person is charging for their services, or this person is saying, please offer donations to what I'm doing, is because we still place this focus here that something that's spiritual is supposed to be etheric, and somewhere up there, and it's not supposed to exist in the body, because we've actually severed the connecting line between our spirit and matter, the form. So Saint Germain said that everyone who's on a path of self-mastery, they actually deserve to have abundance of wealth, also in a physical sense. That doesn't mean that you're going to be wealthy in terms of accumulating energy and physical possessions that you really don't need. But everything that you need for your physical sustenance that will bring you harmony, so you can show and reflect that to the world outside of you as a new creatrix in this expanding new reality. So a part of this is to have enough money to sustain you, to have a nice home and even a good car, he says. So that's really important, because I see there's a lot of beings even who don't think that their gifts that are more ethereal in nature have value. So because there's others who judge this, they kind of don't feel, this pull to come out. And many times we will start to restrict ourselves in the way that we share. And I'm going to give you some of my own examples and to really advise on how to move further on this path. And I remember a few months ago, Larkma, the Pleiadian Council, how they shared about the new, this new energy, and how those who are bringing in this new aspect of how we will exchange energy through heart-centeredness, and the heart trust that what you're giving is something that you're guided to give in that term. And those who are stepping forth as first wave on this path, they're not always going to be it's not always going to be easy for them, because they're supposed to bring in this new model, which many times people still don't feel. They don't know what a donation means. They don't know what it means to really just live from the heart. And just recently there was a lot of these messages about money and how we share love, and I think somebody shared on Facebook that usually they wouldn't donate to somebody, but someone on I don't know, on the bus or somewhere asked them for money, and they were just guided to give it to them, and they were so enthusiastic about it. So how they can finally, you know, shop for groceries now, and I don't know the whole story, but there were so many messages about how to cultivate more abundance. And I see a lot of beautiful beings who still say, wow, I don't have funds at this time, or I don't have money for this and that. And many times it's just about shifting the perspective of where we place our focus. Focus is energy, and energy will, in this material form, partially also be expressing itself through money. So a lot of times we say, well, I can't afford this, or I can't do this, or I can't donate to this cause, although I do participate in it, is because we place our focus elsewhere. So where is this? We need to start exploring where it is. Sometimes we put our money to things that we really don't even need. And sometimes we say, wow, I don't have the funds for this, for the things that we really need for our soul expansion. And our soul is just craving with joy for that. And it's sometimes when we feel that we receive something physically, tangibly, we've got something from it. But let me remind you that matter is non-constant. It will dissolve eventually. But what we receive through higher awareness, so the gifts of higher awareness and wisdom, it's something that it's obtainable. When you activate this in your soul, it's eternal. And you're just going to continue to expand. So it really is time to ask ourselves, where's this focus in this new? And are we really wise and mature enough that we know that if we participate in something, that something is a gift? And because it's a gift, that doesn't necessarily mean it will be always for free. It means it's a gift because it's shared from the soul. It's not conditional. So for example, how I share, you know, recently I had this talk with my mother, and I said, sometimes people don't know that this is my work. That's all I do. It's 100% devotion, and sometimes it's 24/7. And my mother said, it's probably because you come out as this floating being, because you have a really high awareness and wisdom that is beyond your human years, and people probably perceive you as this already rich person who doesn't need anything and just does this for fun. And let me tell you, this is not true. Every part of my journey is an investment. It's a constant research, study through my soul, through my own presence. It's a way of living. And just because it looks natural and simple and easy doesn't mean that it's always so. And there's a lot of dedication and focus. That's energy. And like I said, a part of the energy can be expressed in this human term through money and things that sustain us in our earthly vehicle. And this vehicle, I was just thinking about it today when I was walking through this beautiful meadow. It's like I was looking at myself and said, wow, as beautiful as it is, one day it's no longer going to exist. Wow, creation is beautiful, and yet it's fragile. And yet it's very real when we live it at this time. So let me just share my example with you, that for those of you who don't know, but you are guided to look at my videos. There's a lot of people who say that they've received so much through my years of sharing, and I'm really grateful that you give me that kind of feedback. But I really want to say this from the bottom of my heart, that this is my work. This is all that I do. This is what sustains my physicality. It's not that I have a job and then do this, or just do it for fun. This is my utmost dedication, because it's why I came here to this planet, to do this work, to share higher awareness so that humanity can start opening up and expanding. And like I've said, it's time for us to start seeing these things that are subtle, that are not always visible. There are many times they're invisible, they're ethereal. And just because they look so beautiful and ethereal doesn't mean that they don't need substance, because that's what we're doing in Ascension. We're bringing this highest light into a physical form, and form needs sustenance. And as long as this sustenance is available, we're supported, and then one day maybe we'll dissolve. Who knows when that will come for us. But the point being in this video is to open up, is to open up. If you have gifts, if you have talents, just stop being the perfectionist. Just recently, I've seen this woman shared about her mother, who was a pioneer in yoga, and she was just ahead of others. She didn't have knowledge when she began teaching, but all she needed was a bit more knowledge than those who were her students, and she began. So she wasn't a perfectionist in that way. And wherever we are, whatever our gifts are, whether we perceive them as, wow, we're just a beginner, or I'm never going to master this. It's a process, but the process is needed. and you and your process is important to this world, whatever it is. And it's time for us to stop separating this, what to us it's more subtle and spiritual, which doesn't need substance, and that which is more physical, which, you know, very obviously you see that it does. And see that it's all one, and that we are here to bring this light into form, and that until we are here in this way, in this form will require sustenance. So it's also time for us to open our heart to sharing what we do, what we love, but also to share that love and pay it forward, to constantly pay it forward. And I've already talked about this, I think last autumn, when I talked about harmonious energy exchange and everything that we do and are guided to give from the heart. And let me tell you that usually my experiences are that the people who don't really feel that they have a lot, they will always pay forward. And sometimes people who are more prone to accumulate, those people won't be guided so much to pay it forward. And I often in my life experience these beautiful, simple people who don't even, you know, you wouldn't see them as having money or having anything, but they are so willing and eager to just, you know, pay it all forward. For me, it's really important that I can be sustained in the way that my work is uninterrupted. And sometimes, you know, it takes physical equipment and things go bad. And just recently, everything was again, I have these waves, you know, and this current wave, everything was wrong with my car. I had to put so much input in that, and it was like, wow, that's shocking, because it's how it is when you have an old car. And then the computer things, you know, again with the camera card that I have for my recordings, and I need that big one to record mastery courses, and something went off again. I was like, wow, everything at once, you see. So even if we share things that are more prone to things that are just about our awareness, but it's that awareness that will create physical things. You see, it's all connected. You can't, without that expanded level of awareness, create on a new level. So the things that we don't yet see as important, they are. And if you find yourself on this path, that you would say, I also have this more spiritual journey of sharing as an Ascension pioneer, and there's a part of you that still negates physicality, and that sometimes things go bad and things sometimes are built not to last, especially in this new age where you just need to constantly buy things because they're not made with quality. So sometimes it will feel like, you know, and still there's a part of us that needs to respect even that, the nature, the fleeting nature of this physicality, but to honor each part and to not see it as separate. Let's say you have to do your groceries and you have to do things that are more your errands in a physical way, and you say, I don't really want to do that, that's so 3D. And again, you see, we move into separation because we need to start realizing that we need to do these things through harmony and joy, and that even those beings who share with within the scope of things, like I said, they're not tangible, that even they need to live and exist. Otherwise, these things wouldn't be. Nothing is free in this world. That's the cruel, quote-unquote, realization that every pioneer has at a certain point in their life. Because in the beginning, when you start your awakening, everything is wow, and it's spiritual, and it's so ethereal. But then that starts to be brought into your form. And on a certain point, you will go like, wow, you know, where have I still been separating my physicality and all the things that I would see as crass or dense, or, you know, I don't like them. And I don't want to put my time and energy there, because there's a part of us that really denied this physical existence. We can't move on to a new cycle of our expanded human perfected self without first really, really fully embracing this. It's going deep into the shadow and merging and marrying every aspect of ourselves. So again, for those of you who are new, or those of you who didn't yet know this, Ascension Pioneers and everything I do is fully based on donation, because I will always be guided to bring as much as I can freely so that it's available to most. Not my products, you know, in art and readings and things like that, but what I share and my energy updates and my videos and writings and everything. I just really feel that it's really important that they're available to most people that it can be. So if you find yourself benefiting from that, please visit my yeah, donation page. Donations are shared on all of my pages so that you can participate if you feel that you somehow benefit from what I share in awareness. And thank you for those, to those of you who are already supporting and sharing with me. It's a beautiful journey, and it is really a journey of supporting one another and knowing that sometimes we just forget that we do have a body still, and that our body, I mean, we're already enlightened, but it's the body that we're merging with on a deeper level now. We're marrying our body in a way and embracing all aspects of this third dimensional, of course, shifting reality. So anyway, my beloveds, I hope to talk to you soon again, and as always, so much love, wisdom, and power. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.